Hi everyone and welcome to UMI Makes It Easy to Play Music Legally. My name is Melanie Anderson and I'm the co-founder of Background Sounds, an online royalty-free music streaming platform that's designed for businesses who want to play great music without the expense of a PRS PPL music license. Just a little bit about me. I've worked in the background music industry now for well over a decade, and during that time I've worked with businesses to provide music solutions, and they've been businesses of all types and all sizes. The thing that I'm really passionate about is the power music has within a business to motivate staff and enhance customer experience. So let's take a look at what we're going to look at today. So we're going to cover why play music in your business, the legal requirements if you play commercial music, who operates the music license that you're going to need. We'll take a look at some example costs of a music license, what the consequences are if you're caught playing music illegally, the alternative option to a music license, and that's royalty-free music. And we'll also take a look at what to look for in a royalty-free music provider. Now, just a little heads up, the information that's contained in this webinar presentation is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as legal advice on any of the matters. Okay, so why would you play music in your business? Well, music is a brilliant marketing tool. It's great and it's going to help you create a welcoming atmosphere and put your customers at ease. In fact, research has shown that 67% of customers admit to leaving a venue if music isn't playing. And that's because what music will do for your business is cut through the silence and make your customers feel a little bit more at ease by providing a sense of privacy, so they feel less exposed during the experience. The more comfortable you can make your customers, the better, because great background music and customers that are really at ease has been linked to increased customer spending. 40% of adults have said in a recent survey that they're more likely to indulge in an extra treat if pop music is playing in a pub or cafe. You can also use it when it comes to your staff, because 86% of people have agreed in a recent survey that they feel more engaged and focused when background music is playing at work. So what you can do with music within the workplace is you can use it to motivate your staff in that before perhaps your cafe or restaurant opens, you can play some up-tempo, catchy rhythmic music that will really increase the energy levels of your staff and get them into a mindset of enthusiasm before they're greeting your customers. But at the absolute opposite end of that, what you're able to do is help staff reduce their stress levels, because music has been linked, when you're playing soothing ambient tunes that are low in tempo, to reducing cortisol levels, and that's the stress hormone. So it's a really powerful tool that everybody can use. So let's take a look at the legal requirements if you play music in your business. So any business that plays commercially available music in the UK is legally required to purchase a music license. And that's because under the Copyright Design and Patents Act of 1988, a business needs permission from the copyright holders, that's the people who have created the music, to play their music publicly. Now, when I say commercial music, commercially available music, what I mean is the music that you would have if you used a streaming service, the radio, all of the usual music that you would hear publicly. And when I refer to publicly, I'm talking about staff, customers, volunteers, the general public. Now, a license is required to play both recorded and live music. And the only exception is going to be if you're playing royalty-free music. You don't need a license to play that, but we'll get into that later. And one point that I do want to make is about playing music through a TV, because I'm often asked by customers, well, I'm playing music, but I've got a TV license and it's just coming through my television. Do I still need a music license? And the answer is that yes, you do. And the reason for that is because a TV license is only giving you permission to receive the signal of the broadcast to that device. What it is not covering you for is the use of the music that's going to be embedded within the adverts, the movies that you'll be watching, perhaps the radio shows that you'll be listening to. And that's when you need the PRS and PPL music license to cover you for the use of that music in your business. So who operates this music license? Well, in the UK, the music license, as it is known, is operated by two organisations, the PRS, the Performing Rights Society, and PPL, the Phonographic Performance Limited. Now, what they do is they work together to collect and distribute royalty payments to copyright holders for music use in the UK. So when you purchase a music license from these organisations, they are granting you permission on behalf of the copyright owners to use their work in your business and play it publicly. So at this stage, you might be wondering, well, how much am I looking at? How much does a music license cost? And the price of a music license is unique to every business, and it's going to depend on a number of factors. And that's going to include the business type. Are you a coffee shop, an office, a warehouse, a retailer? How big your business is and how big the audible square meters of the premises are, where basically people can hear the music being played. How many staff you have, the number of seats, and this is going to be applicable to restaurants and coffee shops. The more seats you have, the more customers you can seat in your business, the more your license is going to cost. They're going to ask how your music is used. Are you using it for background music or are you using it for live entertainment? And the type of device that's used to play music is also taken into consideration. So what I've done here is I've put together 3 example costs just to give you an idea of the kind of prices we're looking at. So an average size shop in the UK is around about 200 metre square, and they're going to be looking at paying £743.83p, including the VAT, per year for a music licence in order, let's say, to put the radio on or use a streaming service. If we're talking about a small coffee shop or restaurant with up to 30 seats, which is around about 7 and a bit tables, we're going to be talking £664.62, including the VAT. And an office under 600 square metres with 5 or more staff, you're going to be looking at £391.21, including the VAT. Now, it's really important to remember these are just examples because the cost of your licence for your business is going to be unique to you. And it's also worth noting that what will happen is every year, every time your business grows, it's likely that your music license costs will also increase. So if you're a coffee shop and you've been doing really well business-wise and the premises next door come up for sale and you think, brilliant, we've got a real opportunity to double in size, we can knock through, really create a huge big space, bring in more customers, your music license is going to increase because the audible area will increase. It's like you'll bring in more staff to serve those customers and the number of seats in your business will increase as well. So what are the consequences of playing music illegally? Now, playing commercial music in a business without a license is copyright infringement and it is illegal. And the PRS and PPL are very proactive in checking music usage for businesses they know do not have a music license with them. And a couple of customer stories just to give you an idea about how this is done is we've had customers who've reported PRS and PPL have perhaps rang the business and have talked to reception, for example, through a survey about music, and perhaps reception has said, oh, yep, we do listen to music. We've got Radio 2 playing in the background. At that point, PRS and PPL are able to contact the business owners and say, we know you're playing music illegally, and they will issue a fine as well. The other way that they might potentially collect evidence is to do site visits if you're a retailer or hospitality retailer. And what they will then do is collect evidence of illegal music use within that business. So we've had customers, for example, who have been unknowingly playing the radio or perhaps streaming music. And what they've then gone and done is photographed or videoed that device playing music illegally and then issued a fine to the customer. Now, fines are issued to all businesses that are caught playing music illegally, and the amount that is calculated for your fine is going to be your annual licence fee and plus a 50% surcharge. So if we take a little look at another example of what a fine might be for a small coffee shop or restaurant up to 30 seats, they're going to be looking in a region of £996.93p, including the VAT. And that's going to be the first year. So if you're found to be playing music illegally, your first year and your first years of license is going to be higher because you've got that 50% surcharge on top. Once you move into your second year, if you're choosing to stay with PRS and PPL to play music, that's going to drop down to the standard rate because you're no longer playing music legally, you've got everything in place that you need to. Now, for a lot of businesses, they love using music in their business. They can see its value, it makes a big impact for them, and they certainly don't want to stop playing music and endure the impact of silence. But what they also don't want to do is spend hundreds, sometimes thousands of pounds every year just to play music. So we're often contacted and people will say, well, what is the alternative music option? And I'm pleased to say there is one, and it's called royalty-free music. Now, royalty-free music can be played in any business legally without a PRS and PPL music licence. And this is because PRS and PPL do not collect royalty payments on behalf of these copyright owners. Instead, what happens, and certainly in our case, is they're paid by a music licensing agency. Now, the reason a number of artists and a growing number of new and emerging artists choose to monetize their music this way is because when you register with a music licensing agency, they're going to be working on your behalf to monetize your music in a number of different ways. So they're not just going to be coming to business owners like myself who want to access great royalty-free music that I can supply to my customers as background music. They're also going to be putting that music forward for sync licensing opportunities. And that's when you would put your music forward to be used in a TV show, perhaps in an advert, in a movie trailer. And a really popular one is for YouTube videos and also on video games for the sound beds behind those. And it's a really great way for particularly new and emerging artists to monetize their work than the traditional PRS and PPL licensing models. The great news is that businesses are going to save a substantial amount of money on the cost of playing music by choosing royalty-free music than staying with PRS and PPL or going down that route. And they're going to save that money while still having an extensive selection of music genres to choose from. So, for example, we currently cover over 20 music genres in our library. We've got all of the standard music genres such as pop and indie and jazz and soul. And we also have some of the harder to find genres such as Italian and royalty-free reggae music, and it's brilliant. Most providers in the royalty-free music arena are going to provide you with pre-curated playlists. And this is brilliant because it means that you're not having to think about the content of what's being played, because within those playlists, your royalty-free music provider is likely to have, and certainly in our case, checked those tracks for explicit lyrics and also check them for inappropriate content. There are certain phrases that we would not allow in our playlist that appear in some songs that you typically find on the radio because they're just not appropriate for a business to be playing. In terms of our playlist currently, we've just released our 54th playlist. And just to give you an idea of the breadth of playlists available, 6 of those are Christmas playlists as well. So we really do have a good coverage in terms of what you might need to play music in your business. In terms of high quality music, we're in a great place. The music has never been of a higher quality, particularly now we have these new and emerging artists coming through and monetizing more of the work in this way. To give you an example cost of the kind of saving that I'm referring to, I've picked our annual subscription, and we offer 2 subscription types to our service. There's a monthly subscription you can cancel anytime, and an annual subscription, which is our saver deal. And I've picked that one because it's easier for you to compare like for like when you're looking at PRS and PPL amounts. So an annual subscription to our service, which is royalty free, is £150 plus VAT per site. That is regardless of the size of your business, what type of business you are, how many seats you have, how many staff will be listening to the music. It is a really simple, straightforward pricing structure that we offer. And that's really to keep things nice and simple for you as a business owner. So I want to give you 3 things that you might want to look out for if you're looking at royalty-free music providers. And the first and most important of these is going to be make sure your royalty-free music provider can provide you with a certificate. Now, the reason that is important is because PRS and PPL, as I've mentioned, are very proactive in checking music use within businesses. And if they come to you and ask what music you are playing and you say it's royalty-free, they will most likely ask you for evidence of where your royalty-free music is coming from. And a good provider will be able to give you a certificate confirming you're using their service and that the copyright owners have entered into a direct agreement with them and they're aware that their music is being played in this way. And it's really important because you can send that certificate to PRS and PPL, they will update their records and you can relax. It's going to give you a peace of mind, and that's really valuable as a business owner. We've got plenty to be thinking about. We don't need to be worrying about this. The second thing I'd always recommend is that you choose a provider that's adding new music on a regular basis. And I really think that they should be adding new music on a monthly basis, because having variety in what they're listening to is going to play a key part in how you motivate your staff. So making sure that the music supplier you are using is adding new songs on a regular basis will just keep things really nice and fresh for you. And then last thing, the third top tip is really making sure you've got plenty of playlist choice within that music library. You really want to be aiming for around about 2 or 3 playlists that you can dip in and out of as a bare minimum across the week, because it's going to give you the ability to change what music is playing in your business dependent on what you need it to do for you. For example, you might want to start the week off with a really mellow, calm playlist to really reflect what's happening with your customers and how they're feeling. But by Friday lunchtime or into the weekend, you might be looking to play something that's much more upbeat, much more engaging, to really tap into those kind of like positive, happy vibes that most of us have across the weekend, because that's going to help you create a better customer experience. And hopefully, if we're all doing our jobs correctly, we're going to get your customers spending a little bit more, because if you're a retailer, they're going to spend longer browsing because they feel lovely and comfortable. Your music is going to match the store environment that you're creating. And likewise, if you're a restaurant, for example, a hospitality business, if you're putting your customers at ease and they're really enjoying themselves and the music is matching the kind of expectation they had about your business, the more likely they are to stay and order dessert. So I'm going to summarise and give you 3 main points that I've talked through to give you the main touch points of today's presentation. And they are: music is a brilliant tool for any business, but to play music in a business, and this is commercially available music, you do need a music license, and that needs to be purchased from PRS and PPL. If you are playing commercially available music without this license, you are committing copyright infringement, and that is illegal, and you can expect to be fined. Royalty-free music can be played legally in any business without a PRS and PPL license, because they are not collecting royalties for these artists. But our number one top tip is to make sure that your supplier will provide you with a certificate, so you can pass that on to PRS and PPL and ensure that everybody is happy that whilst you're not paying PRS and PPL, you are playing a perfectly legal alternative to them. And that's everything from me. I hope that first and foremost, this presentation has been informative. I hope it enables you to make informed decisions about how you're playing music in your business and what music you want to be playing and the kind of money associated with doing so. I'm always available to answer any questions that may come up for you now as you watch this presentation or in the future. And you can contact me at Mel@Background Sounds and get in touch if you do have any questions, whether that is about licensing music in your business. We get a lot of customers that will come to us just to kind of sense check and make sure they've understood things correctly if they're perhaps dealing with PRS and PPL, or perhaps you're curious about royalty-free music and you just want to find out a little bit more about that. Well, I'm pleased to say as part of our business, we do offer all customers as well a free 7-day trial. There's no card details required, there's no obligation, and there's no hard sell. It's just a really great opportunity for you as a business owner to check out the playlists we offer, the service we provide to you as a business owner, and really find out if royalty-free music is a really great option for you if you're wanting to cut the cost and how much it's going to cost you to play music in your business. You can find that free trial on our website at www.backgroundsounds.co.uk. And if you just want to be social and connect and find out a little bit more information about how royalty-free music works, about music licensing and the kind of playlists that we have, we're always posting on our social channels, which are down in the bottom right, and you'll be able to find out a little bit more about what we do down there as well. Thank you very much.